Just like kind of kicking it and chatting. You gotta get in here though, dude. Get closer. Say less. Let's go.
Yeah, Rick, you gotta move in close. You gotta move closer. Yeah.
I need to be sniffing, y'all.
All right, so I mean, this is RPM. This is the podcast here.
What's going on, everybody?
We got some dope quality. I just met these boys for the first time,
In person.
and we're running a marathon on Sunday.
I know, bro. Cheers to that, bro. It's been
Cheers to that.
I'm not running the marathon.
It's
I ran a mile today.
Ran a mile today.
Yeah,
Exactly.
There you go.
That's a start, bro.
Exactly.
That's a start.
And get used to Eric because you'll start to see his face a lot more on social media.
You making that commitment?
He
Rick?
didn't say, yeah. He's just like, no,
Soon. Soon. I'll
Yo,
get there.
the number one thing, guys, when someone says soon, they're not going to do it. You have to commit a date to it. And that's why I texted you on Instagram. I was
You
like,
just
when?
say when. You know what?
Right?
You know what's funny? I didn't answer you because I didn't have an answer.
I know. Exactly. At least you're
Not
honest.
yet.
At least you're honest with it, right? Because that is super true. Like, when you set a date to something, right, that definitely makes it more true, just like the marathon.
Yeah. Yeah, if you just said, like, oh, I'm going to go run 26 miles, well, when? Right? You're going to do it all in one day, or you're going to do it over the month? Like, when are you doing it?
Yeah.
You know, and then when you set, and it's dope that you brought up the marathon, right? It's going to probably pop up a million times during this conversation. But when you set it, like a date that you're going to do something, right? So when we set this date, November 20th, 2022, we're going to run this marathon. Back in July, Nick, you knew now you had about 16 weeks to get into preparation for that time.
Yeah.
Because you knew this date was coming, and you knew you had to achieve the goal of running 26.2 miles on this date.
Yeah.
So then you got into a full thing where you're like, oh, I'm an athlete now,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I'm not going to go out drinking. I'm going to start eating the right way.
Yeah.
I'm going to start hydrating, learn about nutrition, like the right way. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you set that date, if you didn't set that date, all that stuff's on the back burner. But then time starts creeping up. And it's like, oh, shit, I signed up for this marathon.
Gets
Like,
real.
I got to run these 26 miles soon, you know?
Yeah. I
100%.
mean, it's super real when you're here now. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
it's go time, and everything that you put in, you'll be able to see. Like I know, I think I had like 75 runs or something. You know, it's not pretty. Like I skipped some of them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like
Yeah.
But the commitment is a lot, right? When it comes to dieting and it comes to a lot of sacrifices in general. I mean, I remember I was just eating like chicken and rice, like just doing everything like every single day, the same routine, just keep it going.
Yeah.
And it's a commitment when it comes to, you know, doing anything competitive.
Absolutely.
Physically.
Yeah, I mean the routine is huge. And when we talked about like you getting into this, it was super cool to see how, like you said, like those 75 runs, and you miss some runs and stuff like that. And you know, we've had like those talks as well. Only you know, right? Only you know on race day how many runs you actually missed, right?
Yeah.
And it all shows up on there. But being committed for that long is a journey. You know, like Eric, you playing Division I football, right? Like having to be at practice every single day, like, and you don't technically reap the rewards every single day. So like, you talk about that a little bit, like it all relates, you know, to like running the marathon. Like Nick had to show up, right, every single morning and train and not reap any rewards until he goes put his body through absolute war on Sunday for 26 miles, like mentally and physically war, you know? So like I asked you, like you dealt with a lot of that like in college and not reaping those rewards. How does someone stay motivated going to practice after practice, beating your body up day after day? Playing college football is a lot like you're running. Nick's knees are killing him. He's like, bro, I feel terrible today. And I'm like, bro, you got to go run.
Facts.
You know?
Yeah, it's like a Thursday practice. Like after, Tuesday and Wednesday are hard. Thursday, you're like, damn, I don't want to do this today.
Right.
But I got to do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think it just comes down to, everyone talks about like, what's your why? But that's probably the biggest thing that I've ever taken from someone that spoke to me. It would be like my strength and conditioning coach used to always ask you, what's your why? And so when you wake up every single day knowing that you got 10 miles to run in front of you, right? Like you can just say, fuck it and go back to sleep, right? Nobody's making you go and run.
Yeah.
But you still get up and do it because you got a goal to reach, and that's completing the 26.2 in 2 days from now, less than 48 hours.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different maybe in college football. Like if you don't go, you're gonna feel it the next day by not showing up. Like you're gonna be puking because of what they're gonna make you do, right? But you still don't have to wake up and do it. You can go ahead and quit and never play again, right?
Exactly.
But it's like, why do I continue to wake up doing what I do? Because my why, right? I want to prove people wrong. I want to prove to myself that I can do it at the highest level. So, I mean, I ran a mile today, and I've always been an athlete, and that shit killed me, bro. I was literally like sitting over my sink, like, fuck, bro, this shit sucked. And then I'm thinking, like, I couldn't imagine running 25 more.
Yeah.
So, I still don't know if I'm going to ever do that, but so
Nah,
power to both of you, bro.
You will, bro.
For sure.
You will.
I'm more into Spartan races. Those things are kind of pretty cool.
Yeah.
Crawling.
What is that again?
BC did one. They're all different.
It's like a bunch of obstacles. You run like a 5K, and then you like crawl through mud, like the monkey bars and shit. You climb over hurdles and things like that.
Word.
It's cool.
Yeah. Nah, that's sweet. I mean, Nick, how do you how do you relate to that, right? Like Eric talks about the how you feel like when you don't show up that day, right? But like mentally, like say you miss one of your speed runs, you miss one of your long runs, and then like comes Saturday when you got to go hit your long run of the week.
Oh, you feel that shit.
Right.
You feel that shit, right? It would have been a lot better if you coasted it in and you hit those speed runs, right? But I mean, it really comes down to, like you said, like that why and not doing it based on a feeling, right? If I went to the gym only when I felt like working out, shit, I wouldn't be there that much. You know what I'm saying? There'd be times when I would be inconsistent. So just like with Eric too as well, right? Like when I started running, like a mile was like, holy, like that's crazy. Like even just doing a mile, right? So like imagining to do like running 8 miles, just like chilling now is like how far you can come within those amounts of weeks. It's crazy to see the growth physically, and just, you know, incorporating that to anywhere in life, I think is like one of the most important things. And that's why running has like taught me so much, because there was a stigma for me, like, and my family, like, yo, we're not runners. Like, we don't like to run. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gas out. Like, who wants to run? It's not even sexy. It's not pretty to run. You know what I'm saying? And it's the exact opposite, right? It's like all mental. It's not physical.
100%.
It's not as much physical as it is mental.
Yeah.
Everything is mental.
Yo, I wanna take, before I forget, right? Eric brings up, you know, he is why, like wanting to prove people wrong and stuff like that. When you got into this, Nick, and I don't know if you want to tell the people like how this even started, but like
we should.
What kept you running each week? Because I know there was times like we talked like where you were like, dude, I don't want to fucking do this. Not that you don't want to run the marathon, but it's like I don't feel like fucking training.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I know there's days like that, because I know like those long, like the hardest workouts that we do during marathon training are these sprint workouts, right? Mm-hmm. So during these sprint workouts, you're gonna warm up for a mile, and then you're pretty much running at like a 7 to 9 effort.
Yeah.
You know, for a few miles.
The far lets are the hardest ones.
Yeah, bro, they're tough. They're
far
tough.
lets, you don't stop.
They're tough, and I know, like, going into some of those workouts, especially because when we were, when I was in the heat of that training, it was hot outside, right? And I'm getting up at, like, 4:30 in the morning just trying to beat it, right? But I'm running 10 miles. So it's like, it's going to get hot at some point through this run, right? Yeah. And I know them workouts, man, where I'm like, dude, like, this is just brutal. But, dude, the feeling when you get done those workouts is, like, is next level. But back to you, man. Like, what did keep you, you know,
well, to touch on that really quick, to get me like focused and everything, but to touch on that, like the feeling is something that you need to bask in, right? And like it's specifically my number one priority when I go through this marathon is to just freaking enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like we worked this hard for 26 weeks. Who am I to go in there and be so focused on my pace and my heart rate and, you know what I'm saying, what other people are thinking? That's the last thing I want to do. Then I don't fully enjoy this. Yeah. Right. So that's like step one going into the marathon. Right. There was days as to where, you know, it'd be like you missed 3 runs and you're like, you know, you missed 3 runs. Like, you know, when you're not supposed to do something. As like a guy, you're like, you know, like physically, like, damn, like you feel it. And there's like shame involved with it. Right. But those Saturday runs, those Sunday runs, like those are what keep you grounded. And those are the character building ones because those are the longest ones. Right. And why I did it, I mean, you're a big reason, right? You're a big reason as to why. Like, I know that we're going to be here and we're going to do this shit. And we're going to continue to do a lot more. It's not just about running a race, right? I mean, only 1% of people are even running marathons, right? And this dude's coming in 4th place running a marathon. That's like cutting that 1% in half, which is crazy, probably even more.
Yeah.
But just the fact as like the bigger meaning behind it, you know, like nonprofits to, you know, impact other people's lives. This guy's gotten countless of people to sign up for marathons, you know, just by starting to ask other people in his close circle, Marlon, Daryl, and I, and everything like that. So, I mean, the impact's going to continue to grow, bro. You're a big part of the why. You know, the why is for the family as well, right? When it comes to health, that's a big thing.
For sure.
Like my nephews, they're like, what, 4 or 5 right now? You know what I'm saying? So, like, when they have kids, I did the math in my head, like, shit, I'm going to be like 50, 60. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want to be healthy.
For sure.
So I could live longer.
Absolutely.
And I could be in their life more.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, that's a huge part is the why. And I like this conversation because my why has been out of my head. I haven't been thinking about my why. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the running recently. So, like, saying this out loud, saying it to everyone helps because you need to constantly remind yourself about the why.
For sure, bro. For sure. Yeah, I mean that's like Eric's saying, bro. It's gonna keep you grounded and it's gonna keep you, you know, who you really are, right? And in those like tough times, like not even like running, you know, in life in general, right? When shit hits the fan, like your why is gonna come out, right? Because like they say, you judge a man how he acts in crisis because like that's when you can't fake it. You can't fake crisis, right?
Yeah.
When crisis happens, you show who you really are as a person. So, I mean, the why is huge. So
that's what we're going into. We're deliberately putting ourselves in crisis.
Right.
And, I mean, I saw a quote today. I'm going to butcher it, but it's like, pain is weakness leaving the body.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I feel like a lot of people have heard that. And, like, that's it's huge because that's the truth, right? The more crisis that you're in, you know, you're going to trust someone when that going gets tough or when shit hits the fan, that person that's experienced it a lot more. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have a grasp on things. They've been
100%.
there. They've been in the mud.
And that's like people ask me all the time, like, why do I do these things? Like, why do I put my body through, like, everything that I do?
You don't got it, bro. You don't got to run a marathon. Why are you doing it?
Yeah. And it's like you learn so much about yourself. And, like, that's just, like, the constant journey that I'm on is, like, how can I become a better person? Like, and I've truly found out that, like, run these marathons, putting myself through these brutal workouts, you know, where I'm throwing up and, like, you know, I'm bent over, like, just, like, trying to catch my breath.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I learned a lot about myself. And, like, especially running, like, Whiskey Row was huge, dude, because taking down the 5th toughest marathon, like, the coming in 4th place thing, that's all cool and all, but doing it and, like I told people when we talked about it after the race, it wasn't coming in 4th. Like, you're racing against yourself, like, against in these races. Like, you're not really competing with anybody else. You're on that mountain, and you know all the minutes that you put in to lead up to that, right? All the training that you did, and you're just like, okay, I want to be the best Andrew Linder come. It was on a Saturday, that Saturday, and I know that I did that, right? Like, I gave it everything that I had, you know, and being able to say that confidently, you know, that's what it's all about.
So it sounds like the most important thing is to prove it to yourself.
Yeah, man, because like you're gonna run a race on Sunday. There's gonna be 10,000 people running, right? You're not racing against 10,000 people. You're racing against Nick Villegas.
Mm.
Are you the best version of you that day?
Yeah.
You know, and that's the coolest thing. That's definitely the coolest thing, man.
Well, I definitely will be. I'm drinking electrolytes and all this other shit that I never even had. So I think for
Try
sure
to get you right, man.
I'll be well prepared. Shout out to Coach Linder for that.
Dude, so how did we even get here, dude?
How did we get here? I mean, it takes me back to when I'm living in the city, right? I mean, we had started, you know, obviously meeting everyone through Sub 2 here. It's been a blessing.
Facts.
Just meeting like-minded people and dogs, right? When it comes to, you know, people that perform at a high level.
Yeah.
And just are in high performance in general. You know, you casually signed up. This was before you even signed up for the Whiskey Row.
Yeah.
Right? So you had casually just said, like, you know, I'm running the Philly Marathon. Run the Philly Marathon with me. And I didn't give you any. There was no pushback from you, right?
You're like, all right. I was like, oh, that was easy.
I don't wanna put any sauce on it, right? Because like I don't know if I did that. I don't know if I was like,
Nah, it was because usually I'm always trying to convince my friends, like, yo, bro, just like come run this marathon with me, or like come do something, you know. And they're like, nah. And then Nick was like, all right. And then he sent me a text like the next morning. Like when we talked, it was like in the afternoon when I signed up. And then he texted me next morning. It was just a screenshot of his that he signed up. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this dude's game. Like, all right, bet.
It was literally like sign up, send me the link, signed up, sent you the picture.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I mean, I was working out, right? I was consistently working out in
For
the
sure.
morning, and I knew that I was missing a piece of something, right? When it came to the cardio, when it came to the running,
Right.
I knew there was something that was missing, and I mean, it just felt like a no-brainer to do it, right? And I don't know. I mean, a marathon doesn't scare me, right? Like you're running. Don't get me wrong. You're running 26.2, but you're just running.
Yeah.
You're just running at the end of the day, right?
That's
And
it.
you just got to keep moving forward.
For sure.
That's all I'm thinking about.
Yeah. And yo, like, there's so many people that we talk to that get a little nervous when we talk about like running a marathon. And, like, I mean, you kind of just touched on it right there. But like, what would you say to someone who, you know, maybe is thinking about running a marathon, but like they're just like, oh, I'm not ready to take that jump. Like we've talked to countless people every day that say,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
we
not
talk
ready.
about
I'm not
it.
ready. I'm not ready to take this jump. You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I would really want to ask a bunch of questions as to, it's a limiting belief in themselves that they think they can't do it, right? And I mean, you'd be surprised as to what you can do 16 weeks, 26 weeks down the line after putting in the work,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you can't think right now. If you're thinking right now to yourself, if you're saying, I mean, I don't even know what's the opposite of an affirmation, right? But if you're telling yourself that you can't run a marathon, you can't run a marathon.
Yeah.
You have to go into that
100%.
willingly. I mean, dude, the advice that I might give is, first off, start running. You know what I'm saying? But I would say, okay, maybe sign up for a 5K. Maybe sign up for a half marathon to just, if you need to see a proof of concept.
Right.
If you need to see something in your head that's like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Right? I'm sure if you signed up
small.
for a half marathon and do it, then you're more confident to do a marathon. So that would be
But that's
my
all in the
advice.
training too, right? Like you run a half marathon before, like the training is 16 weeks. Like you trained for 16 weeks for this marathon, right? Every single week got a little bit harder, right? And then you were like, when you started week 1, you're like, damn, I got to run 13 miles, right?
Yeah.
And then by week 12, you're like, oh, 13 miles, that's nothing.
Yeah, if I had to
You
run
know?
13 miles now, I'd be like, all right, let's do
Yeah,
it.
it's
right?
easy day.
I think that's a better answer to it, to be honest, is the training is designed for you to exponentially get better.
100%.
Right? So if you have the training thing, like apps are great. I started thinking about it today, like, damn, like apps are amazing. Like
Right.
Strava is super cool, like the
Yeah.
Nike Run Club, like any app. Like I just
Community, bro.
I just had an app to like pay for parking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we
Yeah.
have apps for everything now. So it's like you can lock in with anything that you want. Like your phone is an extension of you, and it could be good and it can be bad, right? So if you use it for good things and if you use it for running training, you're going to be a fucking runner.
Facts. No, I mean, I think I would say that one of like the big things to answer my own question to you was like our community, bro. Like having people that like the coolest thing is like
Marathon man.
yeah, bro. Like we have like a group chat where it's me, Nick, Daryl, and Marlon, and we text each other every morning just like what we did in the morning, like what workout we did, whether we were in the gym, whether we were running, right? Just a screenshot of it. We don't even say words in it. Like sometimes we like each other's picture, but it's like I was in the gym this morning, so you better be in the gym this morning. That's what we're saying.
Accountability group.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
all it is,
exactly.
man. And like if like someone doesn't post for like there might not be any words, but then we don't see someone post for like 3 days in the chat, we're like, yo, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, you know.
we got things we got to do, man.
Yeah.
And for me, man, it just sets up. Like I love like the training in the morning, man, and just setting up my day like that. But having the community and waking up, and then everyone else is grinding early in the morning too, man. It's just like who you surround yourself with is huge, dude. It's huge.
Yeah, I think that is a huge thing with running too, right? Because it's like we're all running in different areas, right? But
Right.
the fact is that we're all gonna come together at the end of the day and run that race together. It's monumental, right? It's a one for the books for sure. I think it's amazing too that we're able to share our experiences over the phone and just be able to connect through that still.
Facts.
Right? Like I
man.
met you today and it was just like, bro, I've seen you so many times. It's like, yo, what's up?
Yeah,
You know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying? So like that's funny.
Nah, it's dope. So, like for question for Eric, like you're not running a marathon, right? You haven't even really thought about doing it. I know you see, like, we're best friends, right? You see all the stuff that, like, Daryl and Marlon has done, like, just the people that are around you, like, running the marathon. Like, what do you think? Like, do you think, like, you're just someone who, just like you, like, could just hop in and go run one? Like, I know you said, like, 26 would scare you, but, like, what would stop you from running a marathon?
It would probably just be more the mental aspect. I mean, it'd probably be a little bit of the physical. Obviously, I wouldn't try to run 26 on Sunday. I probably wouldn't finish. If I'm being completely honest. My body just wouldn't let me. Nah, I mean, completely serious. I'd probably cramp, bro. My body would just shut down. I mean, I've always been an athlete. Like, I ran the mile today, and I was a little exaggerating earlier. Like, that shit sucked. Like, it was a little ass, but after, like, 5 minutes, I was fine. I was like, I've done this my whole life. Like, what am I bitching about?
Yeah.
But I think it's just, I've never thought about running a marathon. So now I say you running marathons, and then he's running marathons, and then now we got a running group for marathons, and I'm like, and one of my really good friends, Antonio, he's jumping into the marathon on Sunday too, and I don't think he's ran more than 10 miles in one time. But
shout out to Antonio though, he's a beast,
bro.
He's a beast.
I talked to him the other day at the gym, and he's like, look, I'm gonna get to like 12 miles, and after that, it's just you just gotta be an athlete at some point. And he's like, he said it's gonna suck, but I'm gonna finish it.
Yeah.
So I mean, am I gonna run a marathon? I don't know that answer yet. Did
it die?
Yeah, we can keep going. You can keep talking. There he goes.
Yeah, I mean, that's just definitely part of it, man. It's so funny that Antonio has that mindset, right? Where, at some point, your mindset just has to take over, and you just gotta grind, right? That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, I think being timid going into it, you're gonna set yourself up for failure, and I think a little bit of that is in my head, and I think that's what's in most people's heads. It's just thinking that you can't do it.
Yeah.
And Nick's right. Like I've always told myself, if you think you can't do it, you can't. But if you think you can, you can. Like anything, you can do anything you put your mind to, and it sounds corny, but it's completely true. I mean, maybe you're not gonna go to the NFL or go to the NBA if that's your sport, right? Because not everybody's blessed with the talents or maybe the training and nutrition.
Yeah,
but,
Nick, I lost connection here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is mine on?
Because this freaking thing. Should be good.
Alright. Is it good on the audio? Little technical difficulties here.
Keep chatting.
But
Geek Squad coming in.
Yeah, it's good.
100%, man. Like, when you go into anything, that's why I like being with Nick. Like, I'm happy he came down, the day before, just try to get him, as prepared as possible. Me, doing this a couple times before, and then just like, yo, you're gonna be nervous, right? Going over the things that's gonna happen in the race. Like, when you get to mile 20, just know, like, mile 19 through 22, at some point, like, you're gonna feel like a lot of pain in your knees. Like, you're gonna get this bad cramp somewhere in that point, bro. Just know everybody in the race, no matter how conditioned they are, all is getting that feeling.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting that feeling. And, like, I told Daryl Marlon that same thing. Daryl comes to me right after the race. He's like, if you didn't tell me that, I would have quit. Like, no, he didn't say, I don't want to say.
Obviously, we know Daryl. If you know Daryl, you know he wouldn't have fucking quit.
Yeah. I don't want to say he wouldn't quit, but he was like, thank God you told me that. Because, like, he's like, I was like, oh, fuck, something's wrong. Like, he thought something was wrong, right? And then he was like, oh, wait, Leonard told me this was going to happen,
Yeah.
So, nah, dude, just know, like, because, like, when that happened on my first one, no one told me that stuff usually happens. And, like, I was listening to Courtney Dewalker talk, and she's the #1 ultra runner in the world. Like, she's gangster, bro. So gangster. Her first ever ultra marathon, she quit. First 100-mile race, she quit at mile 60. Right?
100 miles?
100 miles, yeah. Yeah, she
quit.
Bitch, she quit at mile 60, right?
Wow.
And she talked about it, and she was saying that she didn't know that, like, everyone got this, like, pain at, like, mile, like, 50.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, no, that's why you run the race. You run the race to get past that pain.
To get to that point, yeah.
And then he's like, that's when the real race starts. And it was just a mindset shift in her head. She thought, like, oh, there's no way I'm finishing this race. But then like, she's talking to everyone, she's talking to the winner, she's talking to everyone, and they're like, oh yeah, it happened to me too. Well, like, that's just what happens. So when you get to that point, man, on Sunday, just know I'm feeling it. Everyone else is feeling it. and your game, bro.
No, I appreciate it, and I think to touch on that, like another big thing is like being prepared, right? Is like you really gotta be prepared. Like if I just came here on Sunday and like just started racing with you, that'd be crazy, right?
Right,
And
right.
there wouldn't be as much emotion and feeling attached to it,
Yeah.
right? This is a journey,
For
right?
sure.
This is a marathon, so.
Mary signed her papers, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some
That's
real,
good.
got some real estate transactions
gonna
going.
come next
About to lock up a deal during the podcast.
Hey,
Come on now. Let's go.
And this is what we do it for,
Yeah,
right?
man.
Like,
It's hype.
we're able to do this simultaneously. Like it's just like an amazing journey, right? To be able to do this, to fully send on your fitness, on the mentality, and in the role, right? In the real estate.
Just enjoying life, man. Doing what you want to do.
That's
Talk about it, bro. Talk about it because you're calling now. Are you and you're getting used to getting all those systems in place with everything, right? Getting your routine set up. How is that like now with having so much access to more of your time?
Oh, I mean, it's 1,000% easier. I mean, back when I started, Andrew, he used to call me, like, we used to link in, like, every couple weeks, just like, hey, we got this plan. I don't have the blueprint for you right this second, but we're going to get to it. And this was probably, like, 18 months ago. And then finally, like, the blueprint started happening. He's training me in certain things, right? But I wasn't in sub 2. So I'm asking him every day, yo, teach me this, teach me this. I want to learn about this. What's the daily dial? How can I get in? Can I get in the daily dial? Just sneak me in there. Like, give me the link, right? And then he talked about paying for the mentorship and, like, everyone talks about the price, right? And everyone's like, that's a lot of money. But it's like the value that you get in it is 10 times what that price is.
Yeah.
And then so at some point, it was like the 8th of June, I think it was. I just, like, I had the conversation with, like, the recruiter person, whoever it is, the front desk lady. And I was just like, why don't I just do it and see what happens? Like, the money's going to come back. I got a full-time job, right? If this doesn't work out, I'll make the money back in a couple weeks, couple months, you know what I mean? But after getting access, I mean, it was just not smooth sailing from there. It's all, you get out what you put in, but as long as you put it in, it's not foolproof. But, man, there's a lot of people in that damn group that have success. And if you just follow what they do, you should be on your path to success. Obviously, Andrew kind of give me, like, the foot in the door helped, right? And I feel like I'm taking advantage of that foot in the door.
100% are.
But
Well, I really want to touch on that, bro. I really want to touch on that. Everyone should be doing that model. If you're not talking and surrounding yourself with people that are doing the deals, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what everyone is here for, right? You're supposed to squat up with those people that are doing it. Okay, this is how you do it. Bet, you just locked up a contract right now, right? It's if you can cut the time in half to become that person that you want to be, you did it.
Yeah.
You signed up for the commitment, right? With sub 2, it's a hefty commitment, right? You got to believe in yourself to do that, and you found the right people. You were even doing role plays with us before you were in sub 2, right?
Yeah.
So, bro, you made the commitment, but specifically to time, right? So I don't know this, right? So you have a job right now, and you're calling?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I coach football. I coach high school football too. So I have 3 jobs technically.
Damn. So how are you juggling that with the calls?
He's a dog. He's just a dog.
I
That's
mean,
just-
I get up
he's
kind
a
of.
dog.
I would say I probably start my W2 around 7, earlier than everybody else starts, and then I just do all like the busy work. I get it out the way by like 9 o'clock. Then 10 o'clock comes around. I usually have a meeting or two, but then we have VA training at 11 on Tuesday, Thursday. So I show up to that, and then I've been trying to get better at my time management. I have a lot of work to do on that.
You
and
definitely are working on that.
And my girlfriend Janelle, she'd probably get pretty frustrated with me if she heard me be saying this right now. But she's been pushing for me to get some time management skills.
Yeah.
I was pretty good at it in college, and I've since fallen off. But I'm getting there. But what I basically do is whenever I have time that I don't have to go in a meeting for work or call people for work, I'm calling people for our list. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then we try to get on a Zoom every single day, and we just call with each other back and forth. We call people. If he gets on the phone with someone, I mute myself and I listen. We type notes to each other.
Yeah.
Like, trying to improve on the call. Like, what do we think should we say? And it's fun. Like, it's motivating, right? Like, if he's calling people, I'm like, damn, I got to be calling people, right? I can't just be sitting there. Like, every once in a while, like, he'll be calling people, he'll be down, and I might just be sitting there, like, scrolling on my phone. He's like, yo, you calling people or what? I'm like, yeah, I'm like, you're right. And then I get back to it. I mean, sometimes you fall out of a little motivation. You get in like a slump, but that's with anything.
Yeah.
And it just goes back to everything we were talking about earlier. You don't have to make calls. You don't have to get up and run. You don't have to get up and go to practice.
Nah.
But, you know,
You don't have to
why
have
do you
3
do what
jobs.
you do, right?
Yeah.
Why do you do what you do? It's because you want to do it, and then you have your why, right? But that Darryl thing is funny. Is like when you said to him, everyone else in the race is feeling this. Like that brings me back to playing football and coaching football, because people would complain if it's like, you know, it's week 9, it's cold outside, you're banged up, it's Wednesday, right? You gotta
No
go
one
shut-
wants to be
Nobody
there.
wants to practice. Everyone is bitching.
Yeah.
I don't want to practice, and it's just like, bro, everyone else in the country right now is practicing,
Yeah.
and there are teams that are doing it in colder weather than this,
Yeah.
right?
Facts.
And I tell like my high school guys the same thing. They'd be complaining. We're going into like a playoff game, and they're like, I don't feel like practicing. I'm like, bro, everyone in the country is doing this, and there's other teams in this country that aren't playing at this stage because you're in the playoffs, right? So, kind of got a little off topic, but
Nah, bro,
I
that's-
wanted to touch on that.
that-
Yeah, it ties into it.
100%, bro. Because like people are like, dude, why would you be out there like running in the rain? Because someone else has it's sunny and 70 for somebody else, and I'm not gonna let them out train me. You know, straight up.
Control the controllables.
Exactly. Right. I can't control the weather, but I'm out. You're gonna catch me training every day.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not missing my workouts. Shit means a lot to me. You know, so like, I don't care if it's pouring rain out or if it's 24 degrees out like it was this week.
How about 6 feet of snow in Buffalo?
I'll do what I
Get the
can.
boots on, high heels.
Yeah, might need to find a treadmill, but like,
Yeah.
yo, like you can. That's just saying, like, you can't say, oh, like I didn't train today because of the rain. Like, do you have access to a gym? Like, did you just not train at all? Like, people.
It's a choice.
Oh
It's a
my
choice,
God,
right? It's
Everything.
a choice.
Him making the calls, like him getting up early, right? Like, dude, Eric works his ass off, right? And he's been killing it, but like, Eric, like, getting contracts like signed, and he'll get a ton of contracts signed in the future, but it doesn't just happen overnight. I can talk to you about it. Nick can talk to you about it. Eric can talk to you about it. We all have done the same thing. We all have worked super hard for a long time to get good on the phones, be able to buy houses, be able to talk to sellers, and we still work on it every single day to get better and better, you know? And you're going to go some months where you're like, damn, man, am I any good? I know I had that feeling, right? Like, where I'm like, people are telling me how good I am on the phones, and I'm like, dude, I'm not getting contract. I'm not making money.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how good am I?
Yeah.
You know? I don't care. Like, I'd rather be terrible at making money than good and not make money, dude. You know? That's what I was telling people. But, like, nah, man, you go through those tough patches, and this is same thing with the marathon. You're going to run for weeks and weeks and weeks and not reap the benefits, right? You're not going to reap the benefits until you run 26 miles, and then you're going to feel pain after it. Same thing when you're making calls. You're going to make hundreds, thousands of calls till you get your first contract. Hundreds of hours of practicing, of getting better, of role plays, all of that stuff to get as good as you can be to then be closing deals and then to actually reap the benefits of that check or that house or whatever you're doing, bro. But that's what makes it worth it, because no one's willing to put the work in.
It's what that whole thing stems down from is literally 2 words, and it's delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Right? It is. You can neck 4 beers right now. You get shotgun the first one, right, and get super drunk and feel amazing, and it's gonna go away right after, right? And then you're gonna feel like shit. He's like, oh, shotgun. But that's the thing, right? It comes and it goes. And this is the one thing I really want to make important here is after you complete a marathon, it doesn't go. You know what I'm saying? You stack these wins. When you get a contract signed, it doesn't go away. You stack those wins. And that's the most important thing about delayed gratification when you succeed in something of that nature is these continue to stack. And how's that going to build up your confidence? How's that going to build up your time management skills, your relationship, you as a human being, right? You're going to attract a lot more people. Shout out to my coach, Keston. He's always smiling in the gym, and people just, like, go up to him and ask him, like, yo, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You attract that energy because
Smiling
you are
is
committed to your
contagious.
commitments. Yeah.
Same thing with negative energy, right? We talk about surrounding yourself with the right people, right? Don't be an energy vampire. You know, I love that saying, dude. It's super
It's my first time
contagious.
hearing it.
Yeah.
Energy
Yeah.
profile.
Yeah,
But-
dude, negative energy is super contagious, and so is positive energy, man. Like, so, like, be around, like, you're around a bunch of negative people, it's gonna rub off on you, no matter what you say. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I say all the time, like, I am who I surround myself with. I want to surround myself around people who are all grinding, trying to be better, you know, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever that, you know, that consists of. But I just want to be surrounded by people who are doing things with a passion unknown to mankind.
Mhm.
That's it, dude.
And intentionally, right? And that's why I
100%.
want to shout out to Marlon really quick, because like that word intentional was used so much, and it's used still through Morning Mindset Coffee, where it's just like, yo, like you can be intentional even when you're having a conversation, right? And you're like, damn, like this is actually taking a lot of energy out of me, right? You start to be intentional when you have these interactions with other people,
Right.
and it's sacred, right? It's sacred the time you spend with these people, because man, someone might be just pouring into you, and someone might just be bringing you down.
Right.
I don't surround myself with anyone that's gonna say, you know, man, but what about this? You know, like for example, right? I'm moving to Arizona, right? But what about this? That's gonna be in your way. But what
Yeah.
about this in your way? But what about that? I'm surrounding myself with people that are gonna say, all right, how do you get there?
Facts.
Right? That's it. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. How are you gonna get there? I mean, that's amazing, right? And how do you get it done? Boom. And then I say how I get it done, and then you know from there it's just like the sky's the limit. In that regard, everyone wants everyone else to succeed.
For sure. No, I love that, man. That's what it's about, dude. Like your proximity. Like I love that word, you know. And I love, like, I think I've done a good job of, like, I don't really spend time or talk to people or waste time with, like, things that, like, aren't gonna benefit me, right?
Mhm.
People might not like to hear that, but it doesn't, you know.
Why?
It doesn't
I always wonder why.
why, right? I mean, like, yo, if we don't, like, see eye to eye on things, like, if we don't, like, I'm not gonna surround myself with someone that, like, is constantly arguing, right? Like someone who, like, wants to, you know, go out. Like, I just really don't go out and drink. I don't really do that anymore, right? That's just not, it doesn't fit my goals, right? It doesn't fit what I want to do. So, like, surround myself. Why would I want to surround myself around those type of people, right? Doesn't really fit me. So, I mean, it all goes off one another, but I mean, that goes back to our community and running and everything like that, right? We surround ourselves around the people who are doing the same shit every single day, and, you know, where we all want to be as, like, together and as a group, you know. That's what we do.
Yeah, I mean it's funny too, right? Because you surround yourself with the people that are doing the things you want to do, and let's just say those 4 dudes are millionaires, right? You're gonna be the 5th.
Facts.
It's very well known, and
Facts.
you don't need to worry about the how. Like, how am I gonna find these people? They're all in sub 2. They're all in sub 2, and you might have even grown up with someone like that,
Right.
right? So, I mean, if anyone's looking to get into the community, like that's the first thing. Like, just find the community. Talk about how you're doing it on social media, right? How you're taking the steps there, and people will see, right? Like, people will see what you're doing.
Yeah, man, dude, look at the community that you've built in the last couple of weeks, right? About, you know, if you don't know, like, Nick's huge on. Yeah, Nick is the content guy, right? Always posting, like, a bunch of people's content that you see on social media. This guy creates, right? And he you know, he makes you do it, right? If you're friends with him, he's gonna make you post. He's just going to keep nagging you until you start posting. It's going to be a great decision to do it. You know, he has your best interest in mind. But the biggest thing and the coolest thing that Nick did was he created this community where, you know, just press record, man. You can talk a little bit about it, but all those people surround themselves around people who are, like, a bunch of imperfect action.
Yeah.
You know, a bunch of
sure.
imperfect action. Just taking their phone, you know, going like this, right? There doesn't have to be an edited video, and just talking to it and posting it, right?
Exactly.
Like, it's cool as shit, dude.
It's appreciated, and it's amazing, right? Because you see, like, the natural evolution of humans, right? Because I didn't give them all the sauce at once, and that was on purpose, right? It was literally to do imperfect action and press record, because there's a couple things that need to get broken first, right? You got to get comfortable being in front of the camera first.
Absolutely.
You got to make sure you're making eye contact with the camera.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that you just need to press record, and then you start to get more comfortable, right? And then from there, we can work on putting captions on. From there, we can work on putting a script involved,
Yeah.
right? But the fact people were already, they were on the app, right? And then I didn't explain nothing about captions, and they start using captions.
Yeah.
Right? You just, when you start to use something more, you get curious of it, and that's when you get better at something.
Yeah. Nah, it's dope, dude. It's dope. And especially, like, with, like, you telling me to continue to post and getting me and pushing me to post.
We got to talk about that.
Nah, dude, it's super cool, bro. You start learning, and then one of the conversations that I had was like, yo, why are you not monetizing everything that you do, right? And I was like, one of that like that really hit me when I was having this conversation with somebody, and he's like, why are you not monetizing everything that you do?
Was it me?
I don't know. Was it you? But it's just like it goes back to it, man. It's like if I'm already doing this, right, and like
That's the conversation. I don't know if I said the word monetize,
Yeah.
but I said, bro, if you're already doing this, if you're going for all of these runs all the
Right.
time, right, and you could be getting sponsored by all of these brands that you just come to love, right,
Yeah.
and you could be a part of their community, why are you not doing that? And what was the thing that was the roadblock for you? Be just like so many people in the press record challenge, and maybe even someone else is like, Eric looked up. Why would someone not wanna press record? Specifically you. Why did you not want to press
I
record?
think it's because like you don't think that you're. It's two things. One, you're afraid of like what people are gonna think, and you might say you don't care about what people think, but you do. And then the second thing is that you don't think you're at the point where you should be giving people advice or showing your journey. And that's kind of like where it's at with like the whole real estate thing. But you forget that even if you're 1 month into real estate, what about all the people that are 0 months in? How much advice can you give to them? If you're 3 months in, how much did you learn in that 3 months that you could give to someone who hasn't learned anything, that's just getting started, right? If you just ran a 5K, right, how much advice could you give to someone who has never ran a mile before? Like, stop thinking you have to be the doctor of everything, because you don't, to help people, right? You have to be inspiring by who you are as a person, show your personality, and then, like I said, man, to attack it with a passion unknown to mankind.
I want to bring that to full. It's a great answer. I want to bring it full circle. Just like you said, at mile 20, you're gonna feel that. It's the same thing with these with someone that started. You see someone that's at 100K, you see someone that's at 1 million, you see a Gary Vee.
Yeah.
He was working for his dad at his wine shop or whatever,
right.
And just like, oh, I know this internet's gonna be the next big thing. You gotta start somewhere.
Facts.
And you guys, you're starting with 1,400 followers. You're starting with 1,500 followers. You're gonna get some traction. You're gonna get some traction, and you're gonna get to people that don't know who you are.
Facts.
Right, so they don't have any of those paradigms. They're not like, oh, yo, why is Eric running? Why is he posting these running? They're just like, yo, this guy's running. It's inspiring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Let me
who
follow
cares?
his journey. What does he do? He's also making calls. What does this guy do? He does like 5 different things like throughout the day. What is he doing? Right? And these people get interested. They get inspired. And they get influenced.
It's dope, dude. It's dope.
And you were already doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you now you're influencing people. And I mean, I would even go as far as to say that's going to add to your why later down the line.
Yeah, I mean, it is cool, man. And like the thing with me, I haven't changed anything that I do in my life or in my day to day. Like I always train, and all I'm doing is just recording it, right? Literally just pressing record and recording my content, and then throwing it out there on on the gram and on social and on all social media. And look, we're 8 weeks into doing it, and it's been huge, man. It's been huge, like to see the growth, and then like getting those like messages like is the coolest thing, bro. Like getting a message saying like, dude, I just ran the first I ever ran because of like your video, or like I'm the healthiest I've been in years because of like watching your content. Like that's the dopest shit, dude. All of it's worth it because of those messages,
Yeah.
It's not why I do it, but like it's dope, bro.
Well, I mean, it's got to also fuel you. It's just like the accountability thing when we send, messages in there. Like, you're going to crush that workout if you see that testimonial. Like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. Yeah, no, I get super happy thinking about it. Like, a lot of the people want to know, bro, like, how do you even record your videos?
Hey man, you just gotta get a camera, and then you just start recording.
The ghost behind the camera.
Yeah, I got ninjas, man.
That's a good answer. I want to make sure you're media trained when you get interviewed on other podcasts. And they ask that question. Like
ninjas, man. You gotta have, you don't have to have a team, man. Like you see, I post different videos. Like I know everyone loves the videos where I got ninjas recording me. But when I don't, I have the videos that I'm just recording myself, right? Just talking to the camera, two of my best videos, came from, me recording it on my phone just like this, like using the front face of your phone. It's not a good camera. It's just about what's the content, what are you putting into the camera, right? That's what people like, and that's what gets people engaged, right? How can you get the people engaged?
Yeah, I love that. What are you putting into the camera, right? That's huge, because people think, oh, listen, I gotta be, I gotta have this amazing camera. I gotta have, the best thing to say. I gotta be doing like the most amount. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be going crazy. Nah. Some people might just need to see what you're doing,
That's
right?
it.
And it's as simple as recording your morning routine. It's as simple as, talking about a page you read in your book.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that stuff, and people overcomplicate it often, where, you could be reaching a whole nother audience if you're just sharing what you're already doing, which is crazy.
That's it, bro. And like you said, dude, if you can do that, like why not, like, we're all in business, right? All three of us are in business here, like trying to figure out, how can we live the best life that we want. So if you're doing something every single day and you can be making money on it, why aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Like when someone was broken down to me like that, right? I was like, I'm an idiot for not posting content. Because if I can be making money, right? If I can be, not having to pay for the stuff that I eat, the stuff that I drink, the clothes that I wear, the shoes that I run in, why am I? It's just like, why? Like, if I'm all about business and making the most amount of money and being able to, like, provide the best life for myself and my family, why would I not try to live for, like, why would I not live for free if I should be? If I'm already training, if I'm already doing all the things that other people are doing that are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for and getting sponsored for, and I'm already doing that on a daily basis, why not just record it and post it? When you look at it like that, you're like, yeah, bro, that was dumb.
Yeah, in today's era, right? You could have like a year's worth of catalog, right? You've been doing this, right? It's just something that you've already been doing.
Right.
Right? So being intentional is the first step, man. I mean, it's been huge to see your growth within 8 weeks. It's 8 weeks, bro.
Nuts, dude. Nuts. 8 weeks, bro. 8 weeks of posting.
And I mean, eventually you announce it when you announce it, but
yeah,
just the things that have been able to take off from this is next level.
For sure, man.
Inspired, excited to be a part of that, and just to see the future when it comes to your content, bro, because there's levels to this. You guys go back, like this is the beginning of your content journey too, right? So if you're at the start right now, you're at the start. But if you go back to the real start, when he was just holding the camera, running through real estate, right? Yeah. Just taking imperfect action.
Yeah, just trying to figure it out.
Doing it. And just like this dude was consistent. And like more consistent than me. And I'm like, yo, like this dude's doing it for a reason.
Yeah, 2 videos a day every month for a month. 2 videos a day for literally for 30 days. And it was just about going and trying to record as much content, because I was like, I told myself back when I was like talking to Eric, like this was early on, I was like, yo, I need to start posting content. Like I know I was literally like afraid to do it.
What did he tell you?
And he was just like,
we both think the same thing.
Yeah, bro. Like we
humble dudes. We're like, it's like outside perspective.
Right. Like we both have that same mindset. It's like when growing up, when people would post that they're in the gym, like playing football, I was like, yo, you're a cornball.
Yeah, that's great.
So I've been in here.
So is everyone else.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I've been here.
Yeah.
And I left after you, right? You're just posting your clock out. Like I've been here, and I'm gonna go back to the gym.
Yeah.
It's like, so I always like thought of it, but you look at it differently. Like you go through these different sets of your life, and sometimes that couch roll, it's still the same thing, right? But when you're going to be making money off something, and you're be able to get sponsorships, and you're be able to grow your brand, right? Whether you're doing it in real estate and you're raising private money, or you're bringing more deals are coming to you, that's more opportunities, more houses for you, your family, for your kids, all that stuff is coming from it. Why would you not do it, right? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
If I can not have to ever pay for any supplement again, right? If I don't have to pay for coffee, I don't have to pay for shirts or shoes or clothes, and I can just be living for free, why am I not doing it, right? It's like, oh, I'm going to keep posting. You can't say anything to me. You could say I have the corniest post of all time, and I'll just be laughing to the bank, bro, because you're watching it still.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say at this point, because no one can say something. And listen, it takes a little while, right? And you just have to literally sit down one day, start writing your goals down, and be like, hey, I'm gonna start for yourself. You'll continue to post, and you won't worry about it. Like, listen, I told me and Nick were talking about it earlier. This one is a famous Instagram runner, and he was like, for the first 2 years of me posting content, no one gave a fuck. No one cared. Now he's got 150,000 followers. He's sponsored by a ton of brands. All he does is train and post videos.
Mm-hmm.
Probably makes like $250,000 a year. Living a great life.
Yeah. Nobody cared in the beginning, right?
No.
So why does he continue doing it? Because he's doing it for himself.
For sure.
Right? And I think that's what you realized, came to this realization that I don't care about other people. I'm doing it for myself.
Facts.
And I think at some point, something in my brain is going to click.
But you just
to do
said
it for myself.
Yeah.
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 It doesn't matter, bro.
It's like overcoming a fear.
Yeah. Bro, like we talked right before this podcast, but the people who, and you can like, listen, if you watch this and you think I'm wrong about what I'm about to say, hey, my comments and DMs are always open. You know, I can give you, but
It should be good.
Give you the business.
if you are gonna go on social media and you see someone posting something, right, that they're trying to be better or do something that influence people in the right way and become a better version of themselves and make money and support their family, and you have enough time in your day to go comment on them and disrespect them or talk behind their back, you're not doing the right things in life. Because no one who's making millions of dollars is doing that shit.
No.
No
They
one.
don't have time.
No one above you is doing it. It's all people below you. So all those people who want to say, you can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want about any of my videos or any of my content or anything that I post. I could care less, because are you doing better than me? I know you're not, because if you were, you wouldn't be talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
So that, like, when you really have that and you're like, it's not that saying like, oh, you're like, I'm the man, but it's like, I would never do that. And I know the people that I aspire to be, not inspire, the people I aspire to be would never do that. So I could care less. If you have the time, if you're going to go do that, that's not who I want to be in life. So that's good. There's always going to be people like that. But what are those people doing? They're probably still living with mom and dad, right? They're not doing shit with their lives. They're not happy. There's never once, bro. I think I'm one of the happiest people on the planet. That's just my mindset. Never once am I like, let me go talk shit about this dude's post. He's trying to get better. Let me go talk some shit with my friends about this guy.
Yeah.
He just ran 10 miles. Like, what, bro?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, you're a cornball for that.
Yeah.
You know?
I think you made a good point, right? He said in the beginning, like, oh, like you think about it as being humble, and not posting. But unfortunately, right, even if you guys are in the gym before that dude that posts and you're out after, the internet's gonna only see that dude, in the gym.
For sure.
Right? So you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not letting the people know this is what I do.
Because it's your brand now.
Yeah. It's who you are.
And if that guy's posting and it makes him happy, let him continue,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
Right? Like, why do you care?
Yeah, and we do all these affirmations, guys. We do this morning routine to benefit us. So it's like, if we're not showing the world it, we might not fully believe in it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You got to really stand behind it. When I could say this to the internet and anyone could see this in the future,
Right.
I stand behind everything I say as I say it right now.
Amen.
I feel like I have a dream speech. Like,
Right.
that's how I feel right there. Like, it's important because just the action of posting is going to get to the right people.
Facts.
Right? It's going to get to the right people. And like you said, like Eric said, when you do it for yourself, it doesn't matter how much love the post receives. If you like it, if you like what you're doing, keep doing it.
Continue.
And bro, there's times like where like I'll go back and look at my old stuff and be like, yo, this was a banger. Like, this smashed on this one. Even with your content, right? And that's what you want to do. You want to put pride into any of this work. And the great thing about this is it lives forever. You put a flag in the internet and it stays forever,
So
and it will
dope.
continue to grow.
It's dope, man.
It's dope.
Like, imagine if you got to see your grandpa, imagine if you were like, you were able to go watch your grandma. That'd be so sick,
Making a live podcast in a basement,
bro.
50 years prior.
Bro,
Yeah.
it's
And we're like running our
legendary,
last
dude.
marathon.
Yeah, that shit's
Yeah.
legendary, dude. What are you
Yeah.
talking
And
about?
then going home in your McLaren, right?
Yeah,
Exactly. And
Oh,
it
this is the
worked.
dude who just smokes cigars and drives fast cars? Oh, he was running marathons? Like, that's crazy, you
Yeah.
know? So nah, man, it's dope. We live in a dope time, but guys, listen, I think this was pretty solid.
This was a banger.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys coming out here, man.
Likewise,
Recording
man.
this
Thanks for coming
podcast.
home.
Facts, man. Facts. Nah. Guys, if you watch this, dude, shout out to these two dudes, man. They help me so much every single day. I really can't thank either of these guys. I talk to them more than I talk to anybody else. And then I have Brandon, but he lives with me, and we're like life partners at this point. But nah, man, like you have great people around you, and you know great things will happen, and you'll really start like all the dreams that you have, you know, all the things that you like aspire to be, all the things that you know want to achieve in life, and you really want to tackle, you will do it. Just surround yourself around those people who continue or doing those same things, and you'll fucking get after it and you'll go get it together. Can't thank these guys enough. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys. RPM, let's crush this thing on Sunday, Nikki Vlay.